is XRP, currently holding the reins. What's happening now with Ripple and the SEC? It's going to be quite volatile. What's coming our way? A lot has already happened by the time of this recording. This week could definitely involve volatility. Wow, that was politically correct, perfectly put. So I'm going to submit my application right away and run for Chancellor. Before I do that, I'm going to wrap up this video, and I can tell you, all the XRP fans, they are being taken care of. Let's take a look at the current figures and data. And I also have news regarding the SEC lawsuit. Because the clock is ticking, we will also take a look at what economic data is coming our way, why it could get so intense this week. And I would say, let's not waste any time. We'll see each other after. Yeah, you know what's coming next? We're making a deal. If you really like this video, then go ahead and subscribe for free and activate it. Also, hit the bell. That's a complete subscription, and you won't miss any important information anymore. I'm really happy about that because I put a lot of love into this channel so that it can grow nicely. And let's be honest, it will take you even further. And if you really enjoyed it, then go ahead and leave a free like. That really boosts the algorithm. Today's video is brought to you by BitMEX. You can trade with over 30 cryptocurrencies. And if you want to secure a €25 bonus right now, then check out the description. Here's the registration link. But before we take a closer look at XRP, let's first take a look at which economic data is relevant this week. And a lot is coming our way, which should in turn create volatility. Today, just relax completely. You can take it easy. The red numbers are crying for the altcoins, but tomorrow we'll be right back in front of the screen at 2:30 p.m. At 2 p.m., the producer price index is due. These are the numbers from last month, so from December. And that's where it gets exciting. Because the producer prices were last at 3%, and that was higher than the forecast, even significantly higher. It was at 2.6%. Since September, the producer prices have increased by 1.3% year on year. Let's go ahead one day to Wednesday, also at 2:30 p.m. At 2:30 p.m., the consumer price index is due. Well, yes. These are the numbers from December again. In November, these numbers were indeed within range, but they also rose in line with the producer prices, up to 2.7%. Experts now expect another increase in December. We're talking about 2.9%. Now it gets interesting because the forecast will be undercut. Then it will be interesting for the US Federal Reserve. Central bank interesting because they will get more room to maneuver for future interest rate adjustments. And that's where the risk assets are. So like it is with crypto, for example, often then in the positive spotlight. We'll see. But we shouldn't forget at this point, Powell, he made a statement during the last interest rate decision on the 18th December. Also let the statement drop. That interest rate cuts are not exactly the main focus. And yes, if the numbers should be the same now, as the experts suspect, it looks bad again for the 29th January, that possible interest rate cuts are coming. Let's go directly one day further, specifically to Thursday as well. 2:30 p.m. the retail sales. And that is considered a measure of how generous the US households are. In the previous month, they were again. The numbers exceeded expert estimates positively. In December, however, a slight decline is now expected. However, if the retail sales outperform the forecast, then that could definitely trigger a bullish reaction. And last but not least, to wrap up the week. At 11 a.m. on Friday, the final consumer price figures for Europe for the month of December will be released. Experts now assume that there will be no changes and that the inflation rate will remain stable. So we're talking about a year-on-year increase of 2.4%, which would be similar to the US, indicating that consumer prices in the Eurozone have been steadily rising. If the forecasts for December are significantly exceeded, like before, and the inflation rate is above the estimate. This in turn means that the ECB has significantly less room for maneuver here. And that also reduces the likelihood of further interest rate cuts. Yeah, those were just a few numbers for now. And with that, you can also imagine, that's why I'm saying it, could get pretty volatile. What's coming our way? Now I have the chart open again. What's going on this month? So the current status is, well, we're almost halfway through the month and we're currently in the red. As for Bitcoin, if we look back at the previous year, we had an increase of 43.55% just in February. But we shouldn't forget that the spot ETF probably played a significant role in that. So we'll have to wait and see. However, if you look at the last bull run phases here, well, January was still pretty strong. We are curious. What else will happen this month? However, February and March were definitely the stronger months. You can see that very clearly here. Yeah, impressive. I must say, a lot has already happened by the time of this recording, and it's developing exactly in the direction that I personally suspected. We're continuing to go down. I currently have the 15-minute chart of Bitcoin open with Fibonacci. And here you can see there would be another support line at 91,366. But we're not far off from that now. At the time of this recording, we're at 91,700. Now, let's wait and see. What's happening there is being rejected. It's going up from here. I have a few other indicators here that definitely look bearish. Because if we zoom out a bit here, I currently have the 4-hour chart open. Then you see, yeah. So right now we're at this level, but down here there's almost zero support. And then it really starts again at 70, even just below 70. The CK mark continues. Yeah, up here there's already quite a bit of volume, but it's also quite conceivable that we might see a significantly lower price here. And that in turn depends on what's happening with all this market data. And on top of that, the market makers are also playing their wild games here, where you can see now, hold on, you can also see what exactly when you look here. All the liquidity was beautifully picked up again here, but we still have quite a bit left down here. And the way down here is definitely reached much faster, as if it's going back up here again. Moreover, the chance is quite high. If it goes down here, that many more people are entering the market through leverage spot. Because then everyone thinks we're heading for 70K, that's it. And then bam, trend reversal, and suddenly we're back at 98,000, 99,000, or maybe even above. Yeah. And then quite a few got pretty well shaved and liquidated again. Yeah? Stop. And before the Rappellion fans out there fall asleep and say, it's just Bitcoin. No, now let's take a look at XRP. And indeed, is XRP currently holding that level up there? If you compare that with all the other altcoins, you've seen it, ADA and so on, Solana, they're all really taking a hit. But here, it looks quite different. Because even if we compare XRP and Bitcoin right now, we can see that XRP is definitely in control here. So just to explain for everyone, if this chart goes down further, then it's basically Bitcoin is stronger when the chart goes up. As you can see here, XRP is in control. And even if you take a look at the market cap of XRP, I've specifically marked the peak from 2018. On one hand, we are clearly above this value. And if you take a look here, there was a strong pump upwards at the beginning of November around the time of the US elections. But the level is being held. And even if we draw this in here, that's definitely a bullish signal. It can be a bullish signal. Because now we're going to do it all nicely again. Here we have our magic triangle again. And here, of course, it was a rejection right up here. Now, we just have to wait and see how it will continue, but it could very well be that a possible breakout is imminent. But before we get into that big moon boy feeling and you want to go all in on XRP, please wait a moment. I've just pulled up the 15-minute chart of XRP. Now, some of you might be asking the question, so yeah, what was going on there on Friday and Saturday? Suddenly here, wham, a huge price movement upwards. I've gathered some information here as well. Yeah, so there were apparently a few whales who split a few billion in XRP and meme coins. Why this is happening now, who knows, no idea. So this could, of course, be a game of poker. That people are saying, is this appeal and the challenge from the SEC coming now? I can reveal that it will come, and I'll get to that in a moment. Or is Trump suddenly going to use XRP directly as a bridge currency? No idea. So I wouldn't have thrown anything in there just yet. But okay, in any case, that has triggered a decent boost for now. Wrong chart, right chart. And then you see here, yeah, okay, but it's also going down here. And as you can see here, okay, we're now in the area where most of the volume is, then nothing happens at first, and then we find ourselves, we're back down there again. And yeah, now it's getting exciting. I know that many XRP holders don't want to hear this, but it still somewhat follows Bitcoin. And that's the problem with the RSI. By the way, it looks pretty good, but as I said, it's getting exciting. What's Bitcoin doing? And right now, we can't really talk about an upward trend or a possible pump that's coming up. It's steadily going down. And so the support areas can quickly lose their hold. And then, yeah, we could quickly end up somewhere around the $2 mark again, because that would have been the second strongest support line again. So we have to wait and see. I don't want to paint too bleak a picture here, but what can happen this week that can hold in? All directions are moving. And just to complete this picture really quickly, you can see it here as well. It's just a downward slide. So right now, and you can really notice that this is what I told you. The smaller the market cap, the smaller the projects, the more volatile the whole thing is. And you can suddenly see that here, hey, virtual suddenly dropped 43% over 7 days. Yeah, last week, the week before that, people were still shouting loudly, wow, this thing is going to move quickly, breaking the $10 mark. It can also quickly go in the other direction. But what I want to share with you now is this. If you should already have one or another token on your radar, then this could be a pretty smart time. Yeah, to open or expand one or another position. This is not investment advice. By the way, even if you're into coin tips, there's a new uptrend group, an announcement channel called Uptrend Trading. Do you find it in the description? And you can also grab one or another hidden gem. But as I said, these are definitely tasty. Price movements for buying. I personally wouldn't sell right now either, because you definitely have conducted thorough research. And then you know exactly, oh, all right, things will also go back up nicely in a different market situation. Now, I just want to quickly mention something. What I'm talking about is Evercraft. I was one of the first channels to report on this project back then. It's not about AI, it's about tokenization. And tokenization is really starting to gain momentum, now also through Trump, through BlackRock, and so on. But this isn't about traditional real estate or anything like that. It's about sustainable technologies, which in turn will be tokenized. So that means you can secure a share in the company. And projects like that take time, so it's not like that. Meme coin, pump and pump, end of the day. And you could take away a little something if you were quick enough. But the thing is, if it's long term, the cool thing about tokenization is that it doesn't depend on Bitcoin. So it's more about the technologies involved or the real estate market or whatever. If you're interested in this more deeply, I recently conducted an update interview on it. Feel free to click in here. And now to wrap up the question of all questions. So what's happening now with Ripple and the SEC? So the clock is ticking, and the appeal that should be filed relatively quickly. But I can already draw a conclusion here. Because, yes, based on how things look here, there will definitely be an appeal. And that could also be a trigger. Where do we have the chart here? That there might be a little landslide here after all. So yes, even if the report says, yes, it's all tutti frutti. And I also assume that the successor, well, Paul Atkins is already very, very firmly established, that he does it, that he just shuts the thing down again. But what do we know? How does the average crypto investor tick from the outside? He hears the news and says, oh no, now they're appealing, got it. I'm selling everything again. And just like that, the thing goes down again. We don't know. It could also be that the community is now really strong enough to hold it all together. But please don't be surprised at this point. If the news comes before the 15th January, so either today or tomorrow, the news will come. The SEC has filed the appeal and it's moving forward. Stay cool. Let's start our own fear and greed index. So how are you feeling right now? Bullish, greedy? Are you saying you're buying right now? More neutral, holding back with, well, I'm just looking at the whole situation, seeing what's happening? Or are you rather totally in a panic and I'm selling everything, I'm out? Am I very curious? Otherwise, if you like the video, even if you might want to click away in shock right now, please leave a like and feel free to subscribe. There will also be other times in the cosmos. And of course, I always appreciate it in the comments. Otherwise, I can give you the tip. Also, feel free to check out this video because I'm talking about what's happening on the 20th. January isn't far off either. What's going on there? So stay tuned. Check it out. See you in the next video. Until then, all the best. Bye.